On this episode of China Uncensored, here comes the pain! Hi, welcome to China Uncensored. I'm your host, Chris Chappell. For years, the Chinese Communist Party has engaged in unfair trade practices and intellectual property theft, which leaves us with a very important question.
How do you get the Chinese to change behavior?
Pain. Gotta give them pain.
And President Trump is dishing out the pain. I know, but believe me, this graphic could have been a lot worse. Anyway, Trump has taken another step in his trade war with China. At the end of May, Trump announced the U.S. was putting $50 billion in tariffs on Chinese goods. And now, Trump is threatening to bring that total to more than $450 billion. That's basically the same price tag as the total value of goods the U.S. imported from China last year. For that kind of money, Trump could buy 90 million Chinese fidget spinners. Or 9 of those golden toilets from Hong Kong. Those would go well inside Trump's golden New York penthouse. I know I should be impressed, but all I can think about is how you can buy multiple castles in the French Riviera for less than Trump's New York apartment. But this week, Trump backed new measures against China. So whether you like Trump or not, we can all agree he's bringing the pain.
Senior administration officials saying that the administration is getting behind bipartisan legislation that passed yesterday in the House on a 400-2 vote that would expand the powers on the Committee of Foreign Investment in the United States. It would expand CFIUS.
We've talked before about CFIUS. It's a group of government agencies led by the Treasury Secretary. It's supposed to monitor foreign investment in U.S. companies, but CFIUS doesn't have the resources or authority to deal with all the recent investments from China, where big companies usually have ties to the Chinese Communist Party. That's a big deal, because Chinese leader Xi Jinping has been promoting Chinese investment in American tech companies as part of his Made in China 2025 plan. He wants China to become a world leader in cutting-edge tech, and one way to do that is by buying or even stealing it from American companies. So if Congress approves the new measures Trump is pushing for, it would strengthen CFIUS by expanding the types of transactions CFIUS can review. Trump said in a statement supporting the legislation, "We have the greatest technology in the world. People copy it and they steal it. But we have the great scientists. We have the great brains, and we have to protect that. And that can be done through CFIUS." Chinese state-run media have responded the way you might expect.
State media blasted the Trump administration in an editorial titled, "Protectionism, Symptom of Paranoid Delusions." The newspaper said it reflects the damage being done to trade with China by the, quote, crusade of Trump and his trade hawks.
Trump does not like the term trade hawks, though. He prefers trade golden eagles. But anyway, state-run China Daily said it would be the U.S. that would feel the pain. Aw, it's so nice that state-run media cares about how the U.S. feels. My favorite state-run media, the Global Times, said it's time for China to take further self-defense measures. For example, they're going to come up with the safe word. Actually, because of fears of a trade war, the Chinese economy is already dealing with some potentially serious issues. For example, one state-backed Chinese think tank warned in a leaked note of potential financial panic. The leaked note was obtained by Bloomberg. Why could China have financial panic? The note cited bond defaults, liquidity shortages, and the recent plunge in financial markets against rising U.S. interest rates and the trade war. It doesn't stop there. As you know, the Communist Party loves to censor things, from critical voices to Winnie the Pooh memes. But now, there's a new thing to censor: China's own economic plans. Since CFIUS has gotten everyone talking about Made in China 2025, Chinese state-run media has apparently decided to go the opposite way. The government has instructed Chinese state media agencies to avoid mentioning Made in China 2025 in their reports. So all in all, it looks like the Trump administration is making China feel the pain. It's still too early to tell exactly how this trade war will go down, but one thing's for sure: the biggest loser in this war is going to be Vape Nation. And before we go, it's time for another question from a China Uncensored supporter. Shane Butler asks, what would your first question be if you did land an interview with Xi Jinping? I'd ask Xi Jinping the hard-hitting questions that viewers want to know. Like, why do you wear your pants so high? Is it a stylistic choice or is it a medical thing? Thanks for your question, Shane. What? What do you think I should ask him? Leave your comments below. Once again, I'm Chris Chappell. See you next time. Trump may be bringing the pain, but he won't be bringing you the latest China news. So subscribe to China Uncensored and turn the notification bell on. And share this video with your friends because, for some reason, YouTube has decided to remove us from the search autocomplete. Go on, give it a try. Search China Uncensored in YouTube and see what it suggests. Not that I'm bitter or anything.